What if the worries that come to you at night are not a sign that you are failing at life, but a sign that your mind is asking to be met gently? When the day finally slows down, when the lights are dim and the world grows quiet, many people expect peace to arrive on its own. Yet this is often when the mind becomes loudest. Thoughts replay, regrets surface. Tomorrow begins knocking before today has fully left. If this is happening to you, nothing is wrong with you. You are not broken. You are human. The wisdom of Buddhism teaches that rest does not come from forcing the mind into silence. It comes from understanding, acceptance, and knowing when to let go. Tonight, we'll explore 7 gentle Buddhist lessons meant specifically for these quiet hours before sleep. You don't need to believe anything. You don't need to fix yourself. Simply listen and allow these words to meet you where you are. If this space brings you even a little calm, you're welcome to stay with us. Let's begin. 1. The day is already over. You are allowed to stop. As the evening arrives, many of us carry a quiet belief that we are not allowed to rest until the day has been fully completed in our minds, as if sleep must be earned by reviewing every conversation, correcting every mistake, and mentally finishing every unfinished task. But this is the first gentle lesson Buddhism offers us at night. The day is already over, and you are allowed to stop. Evening is not the time to complete your life, solve your identity, or make sense of everything that happened. Rest is not a reward for perfection. It is a natural rhythm of being alive. The mind, however, often disagrees. When the world grows quiet, it begins to replay the day, revisiting words you wish you had spoken differently, moments you wish you could undo, tasks you did not finish, and choices that now feel uncertain. Beneath this mental activity is a subtle hope that if you think long enough, hard enough, you might somehow rewrite what has already passed. But Buddhist wisdom reminds us that clinging to the past is like trying to hold water in a closed fist. The tighter you grip, the faster it slips away. The sun sets whether we are ready or not. The day completes itself without asking for our permission. This is not a failure on your part. It is simply the truth of how life moves. Once a moment has passed, no amount of mental effort can add to it or subtract from it. What remains is memory, and memory does not need your vigilance to exist. The Buddha taught that suffering grows when we resist reality as it is, and peace begins when we see it clearly. Tonight, the clear truth is simple. Today has ended, and because it has ended, you no longer need to carry it. Imagine placing the entire day down the way you would set a heavy basket on the ground after a long walk. You are not abandoning it. You are not denying what happened. You are simply setting it down because your arms are tired. You can pick it up again tomorrow if needed, but not now. Even those who devote their lives to spiritual practice do not stay awake endlessly. They rest, they sleep, they allow the body and mind to renew. This is the middle way the Buddha spoke of, neither forcing effort nor falling into neglect. So tonight, let yourself whisper inwardly, "This day is finished. I have done enough for now." Feel how the body responds when you give it permission to stop. Notice the breath slowing, the shoulders softening, the weight beginning to ease. You are allowed to rest even if everything is not resolved. And as you settle into this truth, you may notice something else. The day has quieted, but the mind may still be speaking. That is where the next lesson gently begins. 2. You are not your thoughts. As night deepens and the body begins to slow, the mind often seems to do the opposite. Thoughts grow louder, heavier, more convincing, and this leads many people to believe that whatever the mind is saying at night must be important or true. But the second Buddhist lesson gently reminds us of something freeing. You are not your thoughts, especially the ones that appear when you are tired. A thought is not a fact. It is not a command. It is not a definition of who you are. At night, the mind is fatigued, the nervous system is sensitive, and the usual distractions of the day have fallen away. In this quiet, thoughts stand out more sharply, often taking on darker tones and urgent stories. Doubts about the future, judgments about the past, and fears about your worth may appear with unusual intensity. This does not mean they are revealing some hidden truth. It means the conditions of the mind have changed. Buddhism teaches that thoughts arise due to causes and conditions, and when those conditions shift, the nature of thoughts shifts as well. Fatigue, stress, habit, and memory all shape what appears in the mind after dark. Because of this, nighttime thoughts are often exaggerated reflections of discomfort rather than accurate messages about reality. The Buddha described thoughts as passing phenomena, arising and dissolving moment by moment. They do not need to be destroyed or silenced. They only need to be seen clearly. Trying to suppress thoughts creates more tension, as if fighting the mind could bring peace. Instead, wisdom invites observation. Imagine thoughts as clouds drifting across a wide sky. The clouds may be dark or fast-moving, but the sky itself remains open and untouched. You are the sky, not the clouds. Or picture the mind as a restless monkey jumping from branch to branch. Watching the movement does not mean you must follow it. When a worrying thought appears tonight, try gently saying inwardly, "This is a thought, not a fact." Notice how this simple recognition creates space. You do not need to argue with the thought or push it away. You do not need to solve it or believe it. You only need to see it. Each time you stop identifying with a thought, its grip loosens. The Buddha taught mindfulness not as control, but as freedom from being controlled. Many nighttime thoughts feel urgent, as if something must be resolved immediately, but urgency is often a signal of anxiety, not importance. Very few things truly need attention in the middle of the night, so allow the thoughts to come and go without resistance. Let them pass like weather through awareness. As you stop chasing them, you may notice a quiet presence underneath, steady and calm. And from this calmer place, a deeper question naturally begins to arise. 1. The next lesson will explore gently. If these thoughts are not the truth, then what exactly is worry, and why does it appear at all? 3. Worry is trying to protect you. As you begin to see your thoughts more clearly, a deeper understanding naturally follows. The third Buddhist lesson invites a gentle but powerful shift. Worry is not your enemy. It is your mind trying, in its own imperfect way, to protect you. Most of us have been taught to fight worry, to silence it, distract from it, or judge ourselves for having it at all. But Buddhism teaches that what we resist does not disappear. It tightens. Worry arises from a desire for safety, certainty, and protection from pain. When the mind imagines future problems or replays past mistakes, it is often trying to make sure you are not hurt again. Seen from this perspective, worry is not a flaw in your character. It is a form of care that has lost its wisdom. The mind believes that if it stays alert long enough, something bad can be prevented. At night, when defenses are low and the body is tired, this protective instinct becomes louder and more insistent. The Buddha taught that suffering increases when we meet inner tension with hostility. Fighting worry adds a second layer of pain on top of the first. Understanding, on the other hand, softens it. Imagine a small child who refuses to sleep because they are afraid. Yelling at them to be quiet would only make the fear stronger. What calms the child is being seen, reassured, and held in safety. Your worrying mind is not so different. Or imagine setting your shoes beside the bed after a long journey. You are not throwing them away. You are simply not wearing them while you rest. Tonight, try meeting worry with recognition instead of resistance. Silently say, "I see that you are trying to help me." Notice how this acknowledgement changes the tone inside. When the mind feels heard, it no longer needs to shout. Then gently add, "Thank you. I am safe enough to rest now." This is not denial. It is wisdom. You are not saying life has no challenges. You are saying this moment is not the time to carry them. The Buddha spoke of skillful and unskillful states of mind. Worry at night is unskillful not because it is wrong, but because it drains energy without offering clarity. Rest, by contrast, is deeply skillful. It restores the nervous system and prepares you to meet tomorrow with balance. Feel how the body responds when you choose kindness over struggle. The breath deepens. The chest softens. The mind begins to settle because it has been understood. If this perspective is bringing you even a small sense of ease, you're welcome to support this space with a gentle like or a quiet comment, helping these teachings reach others who may be lying awake, just as you are. And as worry loosens its grip, a new question naturally emerges, one the next lesson will explore. If we are not meant to carry fear into the night, what about the future that keeps pulling our attention forward? 4. You don't need to control tomorrow tonight. As night continues, many worries quietly shift their focus away from the day that has passed and toward the day that has not yet arrived. The fourth Buddhist lesson offers a clear and calming reminder. You do not need to control tomorrow tonight. The mind often believes that thinking more is the same as preparing better, that running through conversations, imagining outcomes, and rehearsing responsibilities will somehow make the future safer. But there is a difference between wise preparation and anxious control. Letting go does not mean neglecting your life. It means recognizing when effort no longer serves you. At night, the mind tends to run ahead, replaying imagined dialogues, worst-case scenarios, and unresolved responsibilities as if tomorrow could be managed through worry alone. This habit feels productive, but it quietly steals your peace. Buddhist wisdom teaches that the future is impermanent, shaped by countless conditions beyond your control. Trying to secure it through mental tension is like trying to hold the wind in your hands. The tighter you grasp, the more it slips away. This understanding is not meant to make you passive. It is meant to make you free. When the mind releases its grip on what it cannot fully command, space opens. And in that space, clarity naturally arises. The Buddha spoke of letting go not as giving up, but as seeing clearly where effort belongs and where it does not. Tonight, effort belongs in resting, not managing what has not yet happened. The seeds of tomorrow were already planted today through your actions, intentions, and choices. No amount of nighttime worry can make them grow faster. In fact, constant mental strain often clouds the wisdom needed to respond well when tomorrow actually arrives. Imagine holding seeds tightly in your fist all night, hoping they will sprout by morning. Growth does not happen that way. It happens when the seeds are placed in the ground and left in peace. When thoughts about tomorrow arise, gently notice what you are trying to control: performance, outcomes, approval, safety. Then softly remind yourself, tomorrow will come when it comes. I do not need to go there now. Feel how the body responds when you stop running ahead. Return your attention to the breath, to the support beneath you, to the reality of this moment. You have lived through many tomorrows before, including uncertain and difficult ones, and you are still here. You did not survive because you worried perfectly. You survived because you adapted. Let that truth settle into your nervous system tonight. Not knowing what will happen next is not a failure. It is the natural condition of life. And within that not knowing, there is room to rest. As the breath steadies and the mind softens, another quiet tension may begin to reveal itself, one the next lesson gently addresses: the feeling that you must be finished, complete, or fully resolved before you are allowed to be at peace. 5. You are allowed to be incomplete and still rest. As the mind begins to loosen its grip on tomorrow, another quieter belief often comes into view, one that rests beneath many evening worries. The fifth Buddhist lesson speaks directly to this belief. You are allowed to be incomplete and still rest. Many people carry the idea that peace must be earned, that relaxation is only permitted once everything is finished, fixed, or improved. When the day ends and tasks remain undone, the mind may quietly say, I don't deserve rest yet. But Buddhism offers a gentler truth. Rest is not a reward for productivity. It is a natural part of the path. The mind tends to measure worth through output, progress, and achievement, especially when it is tired. This is why self-judgment grows stronger at night. Fatigue lowers resilience, and the inner critic becomes louder, pointing out what was not accomplished and who you think you should be by now. The Buddha taught that all conditioned things are unfinished by nature. There will always be more to do, more to understand, more to become. If peace depended on completion, no one would ever find it. This is why rest is not a detour from growth, but an essential part of it. Imagine walking a forest path at dusk. You cannot see the entire trail ahead, and you do not need to. The path reveals itself step by step, and stopping to rest does not mean you are lost, or picture a stream flowing through that forest. It does not rush to arrive anywhere. It moves naturally, sometimes slowly, sometimes quickly, always in motion, never complete. Your life unfolds in the same way. When you judge yourself at night, you are often comparing today to an imagined ideal, a version of yourself that exists only in thought. The Buddha reminded his students that suffering grows when we cling to ideals and resist reality as it is. Real life is imperfect, uneven, and constantly changing, and yet it is enough. Tonight, practice setting down the burden of self-improvement, not forever, just for now. Silently say, I am allowed to rest exactly as I am, and notice how the body responds. Shoulders drop, muscles soften, the breath deepens without effort. There is no need to correct yourself in this moment. You are tired. The day was full. You are human. None of this requires fixing. As the body relaxes, the nervous system begins to settle, and with that settling comes a subtle warmth. From this softer place, another healing quality naturally begins to emerge, one the Buddha emphasized deeply, and which the next lesson explores. Compassion, not as an idea, but as the feeling that allows the mind and heart to finally rest. 6. Compassion calms deeper than thinking. As the striving to fix and improve finally begins to rest, the 6th Buddhist lesson reveals something quietly transformative. Compassion calms the mind more deeply than thinking ever can. When worry arises, the instinct is often to analyze, plan, or mentally rehearse, as if one more round of thinking might finally bring relief. But many evening worries are not problems to be solved. They are signs of a tired heart asking for kindness. The mind is skilled at reasoning, but it is not always capable of soothing. Buddhism recognizes this distinction clearly. Anxiety often signals emotional fatigue rather than intellectual confusion, and no amount of analysis can comfort a nervous system that feels unseen. The Buddha taught compassion not as sentiment, but as a stabilizing force that directly calms the body and mind. When kindness is directed inward, the breath softens, muscles release, and the nervous system begins to feel safe. Instead of asking, "How do I fix this?" try asking, "What is hurting right now?" This simple shift moves you from problem-solving into presence. Imagine how you would respond to a close friend who came to you at the end of a long day, feeling overwhelmed. You would not criticize them for worrying or tell them to try harder. You would listen. You would reassure them. You would let them rest. You deserve the same care. Gently place a hand over your chest or on your abdomen and notice the warmth of that contact. This is not symbolic. It is a physical signal of safety. The Buddha taught loving kindness as a daily practice because it communicates directly with the nervous system, bypassing the endless loops of thought. Silently offer yourself a few simple phrases, such as, "I'm okay right now," or "I'm not alone in this." These words do not need to be believed to be effective. They only need to be sincere. Compassion does not erase difficulty, but it makes difficulty bearable. It replaces urgency with warmth and judgment with care. As compassion settles in, you may notice the mind growing quieter without being forced into silence. This is because the underlying tension has been met. The heart no longer needs to defend itself. The Buddha emphasized that a compassionate mind naturally becomes still, not through effort, but through ease. Allow this warmth to spread gently through the body, as if you are being held by the moment itself. There is nothing to prove and nothing to solve right now, just this breath, just this presence, just this quiet sense of being supported. From this softened and warmed state, another understanding begins to arise naturally, one that brings all the lessons together. The next and final lesson invites you to rest in a simple but profound truth, that in this moment, nothing is missing at all. 7. Nothing is missing in this moment. As the night grows quieter, the final Buddhist lesson gathers everything you've heard into one simple and deeply settling truth. Nothing is missing in this moment. Much of our restlessness comes from the feeling that something is lacking, that we are behind, unfinished, or not yet where we should be. The mind compares what is happening now with an imagined version of how life ought to be, and in that comparison, peace seems to disappear. But Buddhism teaches that peace is not distant or hidden. It is only obscured by the habit of comparison. The sense of lack is created by thought, not by the present moment itself. Right now, as you listen, you are breathing. Your heart is beating. Awareness is here. From a Buddhist perspective, this is not a small thing. It is everything. The present moment already contains what you need to rest. Suffering arises not from discomfort, but from resisting what is already here. When the mind stops arguing with reality, it naturally begins to settle. Imagine a lake at dusk. The surface may still ripple from passing winds, but beneath those ripples is quiet depth. Thoughts may continue to appear, but they no longer disturb the deeper stillness underneath, or bring your attention to a single breath. You are not controlling it. You are simply noticing that it arrives and leaves on its own. Life knows how to support itself, and you are part of that life. When you stop searching for something else to fix, complete, or improve, you begin to notice that rest has been available all along. Silently say to yourself, "In this moment, I am enough," and then gently add, "I am safe enough to rest." These are not affirmations meant to convince you of something unreal. They are invitations to notice what is already true beneath the noise. There is nothing you need to solve tonight, nothing you need to prepare, nothing you need to become before sleep arrives. Let your attention rest where you are, with the rhythm of your breath, the support beneath your body, and the quiet presence that remains when striving falls away. This is the natural state the Buddha pointed toward again and again, not found elsewhere, but revealed when grasping softens. If these teachings have brought you even a small sense of calm, you're warmly invited to continue this journey with us. Gently like the video, leave a quiet comment, or subscribe for more Buddhist wisdom and peaceful reflections designed to support your daily life and restful sleep. Your presence helps this space reach others who may be lying awake searching for the same peace. May you sleep deeply tonight. May your mind be at ease, and may you remember that peace is closer than you think.